Welcome back to MooMooMath. Today we're going to look at the intersections of circles and lines, and we are covering this for our second lesson and this last unit in our summer geometry course. Okay, over here on the left we have a picture, it's very visual, of a circle and line. How many intersection points do they have? They have 0. They don't touch at all. So a circle and a line may not ever touch. But a circle can touch and a line can touch in one place. We actually call that a point of tangency. You guys have learned that when you did your circle units. And then a circle and a line can have 2 points of intersection when we have a secant go through there, right? So we have 3 choices. Either they don't touch, they touch once, or they touch twice. So we're going to look at what does it look like to graph these and how many points of intersection are there. So you need to know how to graph a circle, which we just learned in the last unit, or in the last lesson. And then you need to know how to graph an equation of a line, which you probably started learning in about 7th grade. So here we go. Let's try to do this. Okay, for a circle, we need to know the center, and since nothing is added to x and y, it's 0, 0 is our center, and our radius is the square root of 4, or just 2. So we're going to plot our center and then count up to the right, down, and to the left, and we're going to draw in our circle. Okay, so there's our circle. Now let's draw our line. To graph a line, we need to solve for y, so we get negative y equals negative 2x plus 5, divide by negative, so y equals positive 2x minus 5. So we go down here to 5, and we plot up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and what do you see? How many points of intersection do they have? To me, it looks like none, right? Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, yep, none. This one has no points of intersection, and that may happen. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Now, this next one's missing some parentheses, so if your handout doesn't have parentheses, add them in. Okay, we have x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. So let's see, our center is 3, negative 2. Remember to take the opposite signs that you see. And the radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. So let's plot 3, negative 2. And let's go up 3, right 3, down 3, left 3. And plot our circle. And it may not be perfect. If you've got a compass, you can actually draw it with this as the center if you want to try that. Okay, and then y equals 5. What kind of line is y equals 5? That's a horizontal line, and it crosses right down here at negative 5, so it's going to go across here. So how many points of intersection does the circle and the line have? It has 1, and it's at the point positive 3, negative 5. And that is the solution to the system of a circle and a line. Pretty easy. Okay, here are a couple more. So let's try these. And if you need to, you can fast forward if you're getting the hang of this. Okay, 0, 0. And then we got 3 is our radius. So let's plot that. So here we go. And then let's solve for y. So y equals, bring the x over, negative x plus 3. So let's go to 3. And then we're going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Do you see? We're going to cross it here at the y-intercept and here at the x-intercept. So what are the points of intersection? 0, 3, and 3, 0. Now, I didn't do this earlier, but you can always go back and check and make sure they work in both equations algebraically. So 3 plus 0 is 3, 0 plus 3 is 3, and 0 squared plus 3 squared is 9, yes. 3 squared plus 0 squared is 9, yeah. So you can always check it algebraically to make sure it works, and that's a good check, especially on a test and a quiz. Okay, so here's another one. We got 0, 0. We got the same circle we're working with. So the center is 0, 0, and the radius is 3, so let's plot that in. And now let's solve for y. So y equals 1/2 x plus 4, because we divide everything by 2, right? And so let's see, 4 is our intercept. And we're going to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down, oh, should be positive, sorry. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and then down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Either line, though, it doesn't matter which way it goes, whether it's positive or negative, what do you see? No intersection point. So that one doesn't intersect at all. Okay, so we had 2 that were none, and then 1 with 1 and 1 with 2 on graphing. Now, let's look algebraically. Okay, algebraically, we're going to solve the system. So we have a circle and a line, and we know they can not cross at all, so there may be no solution. They might touch once or they might touch twice if you got the circle and then that line. Oh, my line is better if it's a pen. You might go through it twice, so it might have 2 points of intersection, but it can't have more than 2. Okay, so how do we do this? First, we're going to solve the linear equation for a variable. So we're going to take the linear one. That's the one without any x squareds in it, and solve for 1, whichever one's easier. Then we're going to substitute, use substitution to plug in, and then we're going to solve the quadratic. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, first, let's just solve for x, because we can just add y to both sides and we get all these nice positive numbers. So x is equal to y plus 2. So let's plug y plus 2 in for x, so now we're going to substitute. So y plus 2 squared plus y squared equals 34. Okay, we got to do a little work now. Okay, now we need to get this as a quadratic so we can solve it. So let's FOIL this out. We got y plus 2 times y plus 2, which would be y squared plus 4y plus 4 plus y squared equals 34. I hope you guys know where I just got that. If not, just go back and FOIL out y plus 2 times y plus 2. Okay? Now let's combine our like terms. Well, we're going to combine these two together. So we have 2y squareds plus 4y. And then we're going to bring this 34 over. So let's subtract 34 and combine it with a 4. So that's minus 30 equals 0. Always on quadratics, get it set equal to 0. Now, divide everything by 2 because it's easy, makes it easier. So we can now factor this. What multiplies to 15 has a difference of 2. Multiplies to 15 has a difference of 2. Let's see. How about a 5 and a 3? So it's going to factor into 5 and 3, and it's going to be a positive 5 because the 2 is positive, and a negative 3 because the product would be negative. So what are the solutions? Let's see. Set these equal to 0. X plus 5 equal to 0. So x is negative 5. X minus 3 equal to 0, so x is positive 3. So there are my x values. Now, I'm not done because this is not a point. I need to find the point. So now what I'm going to do is take these, and that's what step 4 up here is. Once you solve the quadratic, you get the x values. You now need to substitute the x value back into the linear function to get the y value. Sometimes you're going to solve for y. Oh, wait a minute. These are y values. Sorry. When I factored that, when I solved it, I didn't solve it correctly. Those are y values. So I'm going to plug those in for y, not for x. I'm glad I made that mistake so that I could make sure I pointed that out. Okay, so let's plug in y as negative 5. So x minus negative 5 equals 2. So let's solve for x. Minus 5, x is negative 3. Okay, so when y is negative 5, x is negative 3. So that point is negative 3, because that's my x coordinate, negative 5. Now let's solve for the x coordinate when y is 3. Okay, so let's go back up here, and I'm losing space here. X minus 3 equals 2, and then so add 3, x is 5. Okay, so the x value is 5 when the y value is 3, so it's 5, 3. And there you go. That is how you do it, so that we went through all the steps. So let's try a few more of these. Okay, number 6. Number 6, Which variable is easier to solve for? Well, to me, it's very easy to solve for x because y has that silly 3 in front of it. So I'm going to get x is equal to negative 3y plus 10. Now I'm going to substitute in for x, and I'm going to get negative 3y plus 10 squared plus y squared equals 10. Now let's FOIL this out. So first would be 9y squared. Outer would be negative 30y, so inner and outer is both negative 30y's. And then last would be 10 squared, which is 100, plus y squared equals 10. Whew, there we go. Okay, now let's combine. Let's see, y squared and 9y squared is 10y squared minus 60y. Let's see, minus 10 is 90. So plus 90 equals 0. So get your quadratic in descending order equal to 0. Now we can try to factor it. Well, we can divide everything by what? 10? Let's get rid of that 10. So we just get y squared minus 6y plus 9 equals 0. So let's see, y minus 3 times y minus 3, or y minus 3 squared. Hey, that's a perfect square trinomial. So we only have one y value this time, okay? So we only have one y value, so you have to be careful on this one. Let's plug this into the circle equation. And the reason is, when you only end up with one y value, there may only be one answer, but we need to check. So let's plug it into the circle this time. So I'm going to get x squared plus 3 squared equals 10. So all I've done is plug in y is 3. So I get x squared is equal to, well, let's see, that's 9, so subtract 9, 1. So if x squared is equal to 1, what is x equal? Well, x is equal to positive or negative 1, right? Not just 1, but positive or negative 1. So that means when y is 3, I have two different x's. Okay, so that means 1, 3 is one point, and negative 1, 3 is the other point. And that's how you would do it. Now, let's double check the line. Okay, if I plug in 1 here and 3 here, just testing this first point into my line, 1 plus 9 is 10. Now let's try it with the negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 times y. That one doesn't work, does it? So we only have one point of intersection, which is 1, 3. Now notice I checked both equations, and it has to work for both. So this one only had one solution. Okay, there are a couple more down here, and I am just going to let you guys work through these. If you have questions, ask me, and I will provide the answers for you. So I hope you kind of see how to do these because they're a little bit lengthy, and I will try to answer those for you. Have a great day. Work through these problems. Wait a minute. Let me do one more. Let's do this one. Let's do number 8. Let's plug in, since it's easy, y is equal to 2. Let's just plug in a 2 there. So 2 squared is 20. So x squared, let's see, minus 4 is 16. So x is what? Plus or minus 4. So x could be 4. And the y is 2, or x might be negative 4 and the y is 2. But what do we just learn? Plug them both in. Okay, they both work for the linear, don't they? Because the y is 2 in both of these. Let's make sure it works for the x coordinate. 16 plus, plug in a 2 here, plus 2 squared. Yep. Negative 4 squared is positive 16 plus 4 squared. Yep. They both work. So that one has 2 points of intersection. So just go back and make sure they work for both, and you got it. Okay, so you're on your own to try that one, and then ask me questions if you don't know how to do that one. Hope this video was helpful.